Yes, we are live, and the mics are on, guys. Welcome to yourlocalnote.com. This is another vidcast that we've got going on, and we've changed up studios. We've changed up the locations, and we are just making do with what we have. But we've got the band Awaking Mercury. We're going to talk about their last album, or their latest album, I should say, Dear Benjamin. We'll be talking with them in just a few minutes. Just want to remind you here at yourlocalnote.com, we are your source for all the news and music that's being played here locally in Philadelphia. We're streaming 24/7. We've got our concert calendar and a newsletter. You can download free apps. We got all that stuff for you, and you can keep up on all the bands here in the Philly area. What we also want to remind you is that we will have some commercials running during this live video stream. That helps us pay the bills, so this way we don't have to charge anything. So just have patience. It could pop up at any time, 10, 15, 30 seconds, and then we'll be back with the interview. So what we're going to do now is play the first song from the album Dear Benjamin. Actually, it's not the first cut, though, but the first song we're going to play here on yourlocalnote.com vidcast. The song is called Raystown Lake, and the band is Awaking Mercury right here on yourlocalnote.com.
Friday night phone call from a good friend He said a friend gone home. My heart it sank like a stone. Immortal, we think ourselves we're mortal, we fade and fall just like the leaves. Immortal, we pray ourselves to peace. We're mortal, we're far too young to scream. Too young to die will cross my mind. It's a lie, it's alright. Don't be afraid to be brave. This all keeps us safe. Immortal, we think ourselves we're mortal, we fade and fall just like the leaves. Immortal, we pray
right, the song is called Raystown Lake. It's from the album Dear Benjamin, and the band is Awaking Mercury. I'm RJ. Mike also hanging out with us tonight, and we'd like to welcome Luke, Dylan, Chris, and Eli from Awaking Mercury. Guys, welcome to the new studio.
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Okay, let's talk about this first song, and then we'll get into the album. Then we'll talk about the band because you've had some changes, so we want to touch on that a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, so let's talk about Raystown Lake. What is that song about? Who wrote it, and what is it about?
I wrote it. It was going to be the title song of the CD. It was originally called Dear Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
It's about my friend who passed away back when I was about 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was about 3 years younger than me, so he died pretty young.
Right.
He drowned in a lake.
Okay.
And kind of dedicated this whole album to him. I feel like his passing was kind of a pivotal time in my life. Kind of made me look at life a little bit differently, a little bit more, focused, but as well with music.
Uh-huh.
I think in turn it got me into a band that he listened to a lot called Bright Eyes.
Okay.
Which really, I think, influenced me the way I approach music.
Okay. And so you said it was a pivotal time in your life, something that got you more focused on music, got you focused on just life in general?
I wouldn't say focused on music at that point. I was kind of taking a hiatus from music. But I think I think anybody who's had somebody pass away that was important to them in their life, it kind of changes the way you look at things, the way you take things for granted.
Okay. Now, you put, as you said, the album, basically, a lot of it has to do with your friend passing. I guess I'll direct this at you, Dylan. I mean, is that something that was tough for you guys to work with? Because you know how close and emotional this is to Luke. Was that tough for you, or was this something like, well, we'll just approach it as another song to record and deal with?
No, I think that made it almost easier because it's something you can actually grab onto and connect with, and really that just draws the emotion so much easier for recording. You can just go and play, and it's more passionate that way.
Okay.
Than just trying to play drums to a song, and then you're sitting there and you know what you want from it.
Okay.
It just makes it that much easier, I think.
Now the album. Now you had recorded just EPs before this, correct?
Our first album we put out, Head for the Indies, was a full length.
Okay.
And the last album, If It's Maria, was an EP.
That was an EP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What made you go with an album this time? And are there any songs from the EP on this album?
There are no songs on the EP from this album.
Total clean slate.
But there are some songs that were going to be originally. The If It's Maria was going to be a full length, and due to members dropping out of the band and things like that, and things that fell apart with working with our producer, we ended up being an EP.
Okay.
So this album has a couple songs that kind of got put to the wayside.
Okay. All right. So with this album, where did you record this?
We recorded this with Preston Rabari.
Okay. Is this different than from the first two? The EP
No,
and the album?
the first one, Head for the Indies, I actually recorded at home.
Okay, you did it yourself.
I did it myself. It was a little trial by error.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Okay.
One of those things where you finish it up and you're like, man, this is cool. I wish I could just start all over. It wouldn't take me another 5 months to do.
Right.
But the second one was with the producer we're with now.
Okay.
This record has real drums.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, we used programmed drums for the last album. So.
Okay. Well, that probably was a little easier and less time consuming, and with that, less money.
Yeah.
All that stuff plays into that. I mean,
we had a drummer drop out of the band, so it was kind of one of those
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So out of necessity.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Luke, did you write all the songs on this album?
Lyric-wise, but I mean, all these songs were kind of
Thrown together.
Yeah, it was
you
really.
And I remember we we're sitting there by in Coatesville at that. What was it? A photo studio or something like that?
Yeah.
We were writing music middle of the night. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started with Dylan and I when Shane. We started gearing up to record probably last summer. Yeah, it was last summer.
Around this time last summer, actually.
Around this time last summer, we started demoing things in our practice space, and working on stuff. And at that point, our previous bassist Shane, we were a 3-piece, kind of started transitioning out of the band. So it ended up basically just Dylan and I.
Okay. Put it together.
Yeah, really. I mean, it just kind of got to the point where we were holding off, kind of like waiting on his schedule, and he was kind of flaking out a little bit, and we were like, you know what, let's just do this.
So the lyrics came first, and then the music.
Not always.
Okay.
It all depends on the song.
Right.
A lot of times I'll have maybe like a rough draft of lyrics, like an idea, concept.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes back to when you asked him about, Raystown Lake and, the emotion behind the song, if it was difficult for him. I feel like if I give them an idea what the song's about, basically any musician, if you give them an idea what the song's about, what the emotion behind it is, it makes it easier for you to, or it should make it easier for you to shape what you're writing around it.
Right. All right. Very good. And so, but all the songs have something to do with your past experience with your friend.
No, just Raystown.
Okay.
But just about all of them were written after his passing. So
okay.
So in a way,
there is some influence there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. But it took you a long time to put this together.
Yeah. It took us a while to get this together.
About a year.
Yeah,
okay.
we started recording.
No, but even though, I mean, you recorded another album, you recorded an EP, and then you decided to do this for your friend. Was it because you just felt it was time? You had some good songs that you felt were appropriate, and the other songs you didn't feel were appropriate?
I think I had this song, Raystown, kind of sitting in the back burner. Like, I couldn't say exactly this song, but a version of, and I think all writers will probably say this, or they have like tons and tons of material sitting in the back burner that's like, they write it and the next day they look at it and they're like, that's horrible, and put it underneath the rock. And then the way it works for me is like at some point maybe I'll be thinking about something, I'll be listening to like a new CD or something, a new artist, and I'll kind of hear something that originally like tied in that old song, and sometimes I'll pull it back up and completely rewrite it or use the same music behind it. But usually it comes to, like, when it comes to the lyrics, I'd say it's like a complete overhaul when it comes to starting to record the vocals.
All right, very good. Let's introduce the two new members of the band. We have actually one is a permanent member, and another one is sort of permanent.
A permanent fill-in bassist.
Who do we got here? We got Chris and Eli. Guys, welcome.
How you doing?
So how did you get these guys into the band then? Shane leaves, and you need some more players.
Shane left, and even while Shane was kind of
on his way out.
on the outs, we were playing as a 2-piece.
Okay.
We miss Shane though.
Yeah, we do miss Shane. I picked up.
Is it just something that Shane decided he wanted to do other stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
He got really busy with work and financially kind of couldn't
So he's out of music, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So he left.
Yeah. So we kind of started doing. I picked up a baritone guitar and it filled out the sound pretty well.
Okay.
With all the low end, and we played out as a 2-piece.
Which was pretty cool for a while.
Yeah, it was. We did what we had to do.
Right.
And the response we were getting, just him and I playing together, we got really tight because there's no room for error. It's just 2 people.
Right.
And people started like really getting into it. We were getting some really cool feedback, and then we were kind of like, you know what, we need another guitarist.
Okay.
We need to fill this out completely.
And how'd you get these guys in? Well, where'd you drag them from?
Eli answered a Craigslist ad.
Okay.
And then a Craigslist ad for our music.
Hey. All right.
You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, I was.
Move closer to the mic, please.
Yeah, so I moved into this area like probably 2 years ago.
Where are you originally from?
My parents live up in the Easton area, so.
Okay, so Lehigh Valley area.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's really enjoying the indoor plumbing that we have.
Nice.
I lived in the up in Allentown for a couple years, so they do have indoor plumbing.
we got that like 10 years ago.
10 years. Okay.
But yeah, so I moved into the area, and it'd been a few years since I was in a band, and I really wanted to get out and play again. And so I just started keeping an eye on Craigslist, and I saw their ad pop up, listened to the If It's Marie EP. I was like, yeah, this is something I could get into.
Okay.
So I reached out to Luke, and actually, it was funny. they had found another guitarist
Oh,
when
really?
I first talked to them.
Josh.
And they were like, hey, yeah, thanks for the interest, but we got a guy. And then, like a month later, I got a message from Luke, and he's like, well, that guy didn't work out. You want
Nice.
to come jam?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very cool. So how long have you been with the band?
I guess it was probably
Too long.
mid-October.
Wow.
I think late October before I
Yeah.
finally started jamming with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
last
cool.
year.
All right. And then Chris, have you been just around the band for a long time?
Yeah.
Move closer to the mic, please.
Apologize. I met Luke way before Dylan was in the band at a show just about a little over 2 years ago.
Okay, so you've known him for a while.
Yeah, my old band played on the acoustic stage, and they played like right after us.
Okay.
And he said I'd never heard of them before. I just saw them. They were brilliant, and I think I went to 2 more shows. I think we both played same venue in Pennsburg.
Yeah, good old Baver putting
Yeah,
in shows out in
Alex
Pittsburgh.
Baber shows.
Favor.
And I kind of got involved same time he did, but I was just like friends because I bought an amp from him like the same week you joined. Like we met up where he
Oh
lived.
yeah. I
and
remember that night.
They were playing a 2-piece show that night,
Oh boy.
and then we were talking a little bit before, and I was trying to like put some shows in where I'm from, which is Quakertown,
Right.
and
They don't have it.
No.
No,
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
Just joking.
You don't want to keep your dogs out of Quakertown.
but yeah, he's I was trying to get a bunch of people to headline it, and I got them to do it, and they had a show the day before,
Right.
so he just put on Facebook like, anyone want to fill in for bass, and because I was already playing, I was going to be at the same show with one of them because I just had a little band I threw together for that. I said, yeah, I'll do it, and then I practiced with them once. Like, I stole my girlfriend's bass and
Okay.
I borrowed that,
That's good.
and we practiced, yeah, just once, and then we did 2 shows, one up in Phoenixville and the one in Quakertown the day after, and then he kept getting at me like I want to do a couple more weekend shows, and I think around like the 12th show I did with them,
You're like, well, maybe
Yeah.
I should hang out a little
and
bit
then
longer.
we did the album release, and it was still like not said yet, but it was obvious I was like with the band at this point. And then not until like 2 weeks ago he calls me up after practice. He's like, so you want to be in the band already? And we said yeah. And then
Are you
that was
playing?
about
Are you
it.
playing with other bands?
Not really. I do a lot of stuff back home.
Okay.
I'm a guitar player at a church. I've
Okay.
been doing that for years, and
Okay.
I just. Yeah, I'm not really a bass player.
All right.
I'm a
You're
guitar
just-
player.
you're just filling in
Yeah,
with it.
I steal my dad's rig, and I just.
Okay, nice,
so.
nice. Okay,
Dave
Let-
Mustaine.
let's go to our second song. We'll play it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. We're hanging out with Awaking Mercury. We're talking about their latest album. It's called Dear Benjamin, and this song is called Slipping on yourlocalnote.com.
With the pictures, the screenshot.
Fine, it's circling around the inside of my splintered mind. I try, but my thoughts they only fade my outlines. Walls, they're white as her jacket, as tight as her jacket, unstripped and collapsing. These pills, they're dimming and damning. Her mind is screaming. I can hear it down the hall. She's always slipping from my hands. She's always
That song is called Slipping, and it's from the album Dear Benjamin. And the band we're hanging with tonight is Awaking Mercury. All right, guys, let's talk about Slipping. You wrote this, Luke. What is it about? And get a little closer to the mic.
This song is about someone in my life who actually had to check into a mental institution.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Not to get really serious.
well, I was
going to
say. I mean, you. There are some serious songs on this album.
We
Yeah.
write the saddest songs.
Okay.
I'm
And
just kidding.
on purpose, or just you feel it and you
No,
just go with it?
I think it's just music is kind of like an outlet for me to get things out. I feel like, I mean, you know, I try to connect with people. You know, whether it's something really dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's plenty of other musicians out there that put out happy stuff. I try to.
So you've taken upon yourself to write the dark stuff.
I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't say it's like brooding dark, like,
Right.
but you know, like I don't. I just like write
What you feel.
what pushes me to write.
Okay.
I really feel like I don't choose it all the time.
All right. It just comes. to
Yeah.
you, and then you just start.
Yeah. So I mean, like a lot of times it'll be something that's like heavy on my mind in my life.
Okay. And
So I mean, music. If you're doing music right, it should push some sort of emotions out of
Sure.
you, like you know, like you're drunk and you're gonna throw up. You know, it's like.
okay,
It's
that's an interesting
I
analogy.
mean, like sometimes that's how it feels. Like when you're
Right.
when you're writing a song and it gets, you know, like
They make you throw up.
yeah, it makes you like throw up, you know, like memories or you know a certain feeling. about
pushing out
something you're like-
emotions.
Yeah,
and
you're-
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Speaking of plumbing,
Yeah.
Speaking of plumbing.
We're not going to go back to plumbing, are we? You know, there
I
was.
think the last interview we did, it ended up about like little like weird stuff like.
It was
pooping.
it was because, and I was going to ask this later. How many of the songs you wrote while you were in the bathroom? Because that's
We did.
I think the question is how many did I write?
No, we did. The
How
one
many
you
did I
wrote in the
not
bathroom.
write in the bathroom?
okay.
What's the name of it though? You were in the shower and you texted me. and You told me all about it.
You wrote a song while you were in the shower.
As the night goes on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You wrote it all in the bathroom.
As the night goes on, you wrote
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that song came to me like while I was showering,
Okay.
just like all the others.
Basically, the bathroom is very inspirational.
Except
for
for
you.
Tightrope, that actually just I was playing around with the ukulele and
Then
Bam.
that came about.
yeah.
But the other song, you're in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, that's when the inspiration hits.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I mean,
the
do you
showers, the
have
water running.
Do you have a notebook in there that's waterproof?
I'm going to soon.
It's
a white
diver
A little whiteboard.
Nice.
Waterproof whiteboard.
Nice. Is this something that you guys, Chris and Eli, knew before you joined the band, that most of the songs get written in the bathroom by Luke?
No, we were not aware of that.
Okay, so
I was hoping.
Is this a deal breaker?
all right, let's talk about the album, and you go in and you're using the same producer. Was this easier then, knowing the producer going in and working with him before? Did this make it easier recording this album?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or okay,
yeah. I mean, with this album, because we started it when it was really just Dylan and I. We set in and we were like, all right, well, we'll start writing some lead parts and everything, and he was just like, no, let's do it all in the studio.
oh okay,
So this album was very produced. Like it was a lot different than the last EP we did, and I think partially it was the band members. I mean, we were a lot more open.
Yeah, we didn't really have a band per se.
it was just you two.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean, like we were very ready to sit down and kind of write everything out and have it, but I think because of the way Dylan and I are, we're very receptive to like other people's ideas.
Yeah.
Okay,
So when he said like, no, come in, have your rhythm parts, but we'll work on lead stuff and we'll come up with stuff.
but having worked with him before, you trusted him.
Absolutely.
There was definitely a level
Absolutely.
of trust that was higher than the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Did you know him before you recorded the last EP?
I worked with him at Sam Ash actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you had an idea of
Yeah.
who you're dealing with, but
Yeah.
now after working with him,
Mhm.
it's easier to come in and,
Yeah.
and take care of business.
He actually works out of David Ivory's studio.
Oh, okay.
He does work with David Ivory. So.
Okay, that's not a bad name.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
not,
not
a
too
bad
bad.
guy to be
Little name
associated
drop.
with. Yeah, got it. You got
No
to
big
do
deal.
that. I got to do that. So, is there anything different that you did on this album compared to the last EP or even the first album?
Yeah, the real drums. Like we actually went to a studio and
Overlook Studios.
Overlook
Doylestown?
Studios in Willow Grove area.
Oh, not Doylestown.
Bruce.
Okay.
Um,
you got to do those shout outs.
Little shout out.
Yes.
But I think the combination of the real drums and really kind of, I feel like we had a much more open mind, I think, as a band for writing this album when we were in the studio.
Okay.
I think part of the problem we had before with previous members was like they wanted it to sound a certain way.
Right.
They I mean, a big thing that really I think really pushed this album was Blink-182 had no part in the writing of this.
Okay.
So-
Yes. All right.
Everybody
It's-
hates on Shane.
I'm not hating on Shane. I'm hating on his influence.
It's coming back to me now. The last
Yeah.
interview. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that helps, but I think also the fact that this is the third time that you're recording music, that has to make it easier too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was still pretty much new to it all. This was like my first studio experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I had
legit
no
studio,
idea
yeah.
what was going to happen or what it was going to sound like.
And you can watch a video on our producer
Yelling at
whipping
me.
him into shape
Yeah.
during the recording process. It's pretty
entertaining.
Yeah, it's
Preston's
pretty.
the dude.
He
so,
was
like,
he was pretty impressed that we actually posted that video.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, nice. And how was that, Dylan? I mean, you're getting
Wait, the posting
scolded.
of the video?
No,
or
the
like
scolding. I mean, did it take you back, or did it
Par
make
for the
you?
course.
Did it make you just reassess and take a look at what you're doing, and it drove
Yeah,
you to be better?
Oh, totally. Definitely. From then on, it was more or less just focusing on the song as a picture instead of sitting there playing drums that sound cool.
Okay, so this was a really good experience for you too.
Oh, yeah.
For your playing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
I can attest to that.
Night and day.
His I think all of us as a whole, but like I really got to see Dylan mature as a musician from the start of this album to the end, just
Yeah.
because Preston just really like ripped him a new one.
I mean, he wasn't that bad.
No. Like
You're
I
making
mean,
it seem
no,
like
no,
there's
no,
this monster
you
behind the
no, you
console.
gotta let me finish.
No.
Like, I mean, in the concept of how he approaches a song, like
Sure.
he really
He doesn't
I-
hold back. If it sucks, he'll tell you it sucks.
But also, I think what he made you realize was like, don't try to write a cool part. Like, don't try to be flashy. Write something that complements the song. And I think he really made you
Okay.
change your mindset
Yeah.
about how you approach writing a song.
Right.
And I think that's like, I mean, that's it right there. Because if you listen to like any album, it's like, yeah, there's drummers that are really flashy out
drums
there.
are cool if you're a drummer, but like.
But then there's like those drummers where they're not playing anything amazing, but you're just like, wow, like it just
It
complements.
fits together.
Yeah.
And that's difficult for the ego because
Oh, yeah.
you want to stand out and you want to have people notice you, but at the same time he's right in the sense that the object of this is to make sure the song sounds great.
Yeah.
Right.
And you all have to work together as a team.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that was the biggest lesson you took from those sessions then.
Oh yeah, definitely. For
Okay.
sure.
And Luke, you feel that the playing has just taken it a step
I think
further.
this whole album just brought us to a completely new level. With especially since we had somebody actually producing the album. So I mean, there was not only the pressure of, hey, this album sounds really good, but we have to play it like this now.
Live,
Like people are gonna listen to this album, and
And
if
say,
if
okay.
I think
if
we
it
get
doesn't
pretty
sound-
close. Like I think we.
no,
nailed it.
we get really good feedback, but I think that was the thing was we sat down. It's like, all right, people are hearing this album. It's top notch quality.
Right.
Like if it doesn't sound like that as good or better live, like we're gonna hear it.
It puts the pressure on you
Yeah.
guys.
So, but I think just the fact that like we had somebody kind of like directing us and really like just tearing into us, when we needed it.
Mm-hmm.
It completely changed the way we practiced from the time you joined the band.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like from the time he joined the band to when we finished. I mean, we were just a completely different band. And,
So
people see it.
The practicing sessions took a whole different turn, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was just the seriousness that we took with the songs and practicing it and just the approach and how we viewed it.
Okay.
Sometimes like drummers tend to want to try to reinvent the wheel
Right.
after they've written something and it kind of taught us like, well, if it sounds really good,
Let's go with it.
Like yeah, there's certain things you tweak as you go. Like,
Right.
Like one of my favorite bands is Counting Crows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never hear. You could hear them play around here. You could listen to 5-6 different recordings.
Right.
And
It's pretty
each-
close.
No, they play it completely different
Oh, well, okay. I see what
in
you're
the
going
manner
with
of the song evolves, but it still fits together.
I
Like
see what
it's
you're saying.
keeping
Okay.
that congruent, keeping it congruent with the original idea.
Okay.
I think that's kind of like what came into perspective was like perform it.
All right.
way.
And that you really took that and take the band to the next level.
Yeah.
Now these guys joined after the album was recorded. Is that correct?
Eli was
So-
mid-recording.
Mid-recording.
Yeah. When I joined, I think there was one track done with leads. So there was one track done with leads and like a couple ideas on a few others. But for the most part, I was handed scratch recordings of a rhythm track and a drum track, given like a brief, like, all right, this is the kind of vibe of the song. This is what I was thinking the lyrics I've been working on and stuff like that. And told to go to town.
Okay.
It was a cool experience for me. I've been in a few other bands, but always been primarily primarily a rhythm guitarist.
Okay.
And I told them that when I joined. I'm like, hey, I'm happy to be the lead guitarist, but I've never done this before. So
Okay.
we'll see where it goes.
And Luke, what did you think of that? Were you like, okay, let's just go with it?
That's what I wanted. I mean, the great thing about having a second guitarist is like if they're comfortable with doing lead, you can do lead. But I think with our music, like we could easily fit in a third guitarist playing
Okay.
some sort of chord progression over top of what we do, or like simple lead. So
Very cool.
there's a lot of room in our music.
All right, let's go to song number 3. The song is called "Sorry Never Left Your Lips." We'll play the song, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. All right? We're hanging with the guys from Awaking Mercury. We're talking about their latest album called Dear Benjamin. And this song is called "Sorry Never Left Your Lips" on yourlocalnote.com.
Sister, you sleep with a snake. Your wraps around your body like veins. Now you sleep in your dirty sheets, stained from the venom you bleed. Conscience was white as snow. Now mocks us just like the crows.
here, Benjamin, and the band is Awaking Mercury. It's Luke, Dylan, Chris, Eli, and if you're tuning in now, we have, it seems like, a different lineup here. They played a little Chinese fire drill just a few minutes ago during the song. But anyway, let's get back to the song here. Sorry Never Left Your Lips. Luke, what is this song about?
This song, I think, is about, without going into specifics about a certain person, they're not in this room, don't worry.
Okay.
I think everybody has somebody in their life, maybe a family member or a close person, who really can never really, take the blame for their actions.
Right, it's always someone else's fault.
Oh, yeah. And especially if it's somebody that's really close to you, I think that gets really frustrating.
It gets old,
yeah,
irritating.
It gets old, especially somebody you care about and you see it holding them back in life.
Oh, okay.
So I think this song was just kind of about my frustration with that, and it's just kind of like a piece of my life, a little story of my life.
Okay. And Dylan, with the songs, a lot of these songs being personal to Luke. I mean, are you just used to that and you just go with it, or is this sometimes something that could be difficult for you because you're not 100% sure where he's going with some of the songs?
Well,
because they're his.
When Luke takes a shower, I'm usually there.
Usually.
Okay, I didn't see
But
that
anyway,
one coming.
That's what she said.
Oh, nice. Deep.
Wow.
But anyway, no, I mean, this song, well, Sorry Never Left Your Lips, was actually my favorite one to track drums to because of the outro, like that last chorus.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, it was just fun. I felt it, and I totally went with it.
Oh, very cool.
But, I mean, I really didn't think much about it at the time. I was just like, oh, this sounds cool, so I just did it, and that's really where we went from that.
All right.
I mean, this song especially was kind of like, yeah, that's cool, so we just were like, yeah.
Okay.
Drummers.
Luke, with a couple of, yeah.
I don't, that's how it went.
I just want to keep moving on, Dylan. Just keep going. Luke, with the new lineup or two new members to the band, I mean, how difficult is it to get acclimated on stage, or has this been fairly easy?
It's been pretty easy. I mean, it's always a process. I mean, there's a thing that's really helped us is that we actually have our own personal priest to bless us before every show.
He's smiling so hard right now.
Wow.
So, I mean, the blessing our
You guys
instruments.
just go all over the
all
place.
over the place.
Yeah, I mean,
All
there's
over.
just no predicting where you're going to go.
No.
All right.
No, so I mean that helps, blessing the instruments, blessing the drumsticks,
Right.
blessing
shower.
the crowd, Kim, and everybody in the crowd.
Listen, I went to Catholic school for 12 years, and an all-boys Catholic school. And this is bringing back a memory. We had one priest, not a priest, a brother, and he would start this class off with a prayer. And on Fridays, he would then start praying that people wouldn't overdose at concerts or things like that, or drink too much and throw up on themselves. I mean, and here we are. I mean, we're junior and seniors in high school, and he's talking about, he's praying about that stuff, and we're like, okay. So I'm getting flashbacks here.
Well, I often go to the bar and to the Valley Forge Casino with my priest.
Okay.
I'm not kidding, but but getting back to the
Now,
line.
when you win, you give money to the priest so he can donate it to the poor, right?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that story.
Yeah.
When I win. Okay. But
Where are we?
the lineup, and I think it's really funny looking at this band now. It finally feels like a complete band.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, member wise, personality wise, it's the first time it's ever felt like that.
Okay.
Even for me being in bands previously, like I've never had this kind of unification, this kind of like sense of unity in a band. So I mean, as far as like line up and being on stage, comes down to just practicing, but at the same time, this group of guys, like we all are very connected, and we kind of feel everything. Like it works really well, and we're all on the same page.
Chris, you had seen the band play for a couple of years, so it must have been fairly easy to jump in.
Oh yeah. It was always a different lineup, of course. Like first time I saw them was was that the original lineup with Shane and
Danny.
Danny,
Danny.
yeah.
DJ
Well,
Blitz.
I've never met
the
Danny
first time
until he was out of the band. So
Okay.
and I saw then we played the same show a year later. It was just this festival thing they did, and it was just them two on the acoustic stage. We played main stage like they did the year before.
Right,
and
right.
We,
So
we
much
like
fun.
switched spots, and you had a better crowd than the spot.
No hard feelings. though.
No.
But joining the band, you had a good idea what
Oh,
you
yeah.
what you were
And
walking
then-
into.
Yeah, I've seen him play. He always is doing something acoustic, like
Right.
playing the songs and does it a different way every time. So
Okay.
I knew him, like, of course, because he was the original member and he wrote everything and he was always at a show. If he
Okay.
wasn't even playing, he was supporting in some way. So
Okay. Eli, then for you, I mean, you didn't know anything about this band.
No.
How tough of an adjustment, and were they easy on you, or did they break you in?
Well, actually, one of the coolest things was the first practice. They
Look at that.
well,
You have to pick your wording very well.
Yes, I'm learning that.
it's like they messaged me like a day before we met up to practice or something, like, hey, you want to come jam with us? So they were like, these are some covers we used to do, so learn them. So I went in, and I think it was like Say It Ain't So by Weezer, and we tried playing it, and it fell apart after like maybe 8 measures. Like, it was so fast, and it descended into the jam, and then in that moment I knew it was going to work.
Okay,
because-
so you felt good about that.
yeah, because even though we weren't really playing Say It Ain't So anymore, we were all just jamming along and having a good time, and like it seemed to click right from the
You-
get
you-
go.
and you
Jamming
guys
is-
agree
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that it once.
If you can jam like that with somebody, it's
good.
generally a good sign.
Okay.
Something like that never happened to me before with the other bands I've been in. It had always been a struggle.
Okay.
But
I think when you've gone through many band members, you kind of get an idea of like,
Who's going to work and who's not?
yeah,
Okay.
like really quick.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about since we're talking about you guys playing live, upcoming shows. What do you got coming up?
We have a show July 30th in Reading, and then August we are playing the Gettysburg Festival.
Oh, okay.
It's like a whole. I mean, I think there's like 10 or 15 different venues that
Oh,
are doing
really?
live music all
Okay.
the same day, something like that. It's like
Okay,
crazy.
it's like almost like a music conference. I mean, they had one in Lancaster earlier
Yeah,
this year, and then you
it-
have one down
yeah.
at Dewey Beach, and I
Yeah.
think there was even one in Cape May earlier
Yeah,
this year.
they're getting really popular. Where like the whole town will kind of like each bar that has a stage will have, bands play.
Nice.
And it's almost like kind of like what's the one that goes on in Gainesville?
there's the one in Bethlehem, it's Music Fest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Music Fest. That's been going
Yeah.
on for a long time.
Yeah. So we're playing that. We got asked from like one of my clients from work sent our stuff to the guy that runs it.
Okay.
So we're doing that on August 9th. The 23rd of August, we actually his birthday.
Okay.
He's gonna be like 16.
Okay.
We're gonna have a sweet 16 party on
Nice.
stage.
Okay.
We're playing at Dockside, Dave and Buster's.
Okay, good.
With our buddies Rivers
Good.
Monroe.
Right. Yeah, good place to play.
Kirby.
Okay.
And Rivers, Monroe, and An Honest Year. So we're pretty psyched about that. They're pretty well known, especially in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And then we're playing. We got a couple other things
don't
like
even
Kung Fu
know.
Necktie on September 5th. And we
Okay.
have a couple other things.
And if people got lost as trying to follow Luke, it's all going to be on our website, so you can get all the information
Yeah.
there.
You can
just,
go. Yeah. You
just
can-
got to give the plug to the website
Yeah.
on that.
You can go to wakingmercury.com
Too, and it's all there.
Yeah, everything's online.
Very cool. All right, wakingmercury.com. We'll segue into, is that where people can find your music and download it? And
We have
other
iTunes.
place, iTunes.
We're on Spotify if you're at work and you don't want to actually get any work done.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to do.
Yeah, it's great to do, yeah.
promote that non-working. Okay, we like that. All right,
Work
so
sucks. Just saying.
wakingmercury.com and Facebook. People can get your
Yeah.
Facebook, your Twitter, all that
Twitter,
stuff.
Instagram.
It's all there.
Pictures of my dog on Instagram.
Okay, good. No pictures of him in the bathroom.
Nah, but he is shirtless on a bunch.
Very
Thanks to Chris.
cool.
Sorry.
All right, very good, guys. Let's wrap things up here. This last song we're going to play is "Buried in Your Veins." What is that about?
I think it's a little bit about hope. It's about, I find that in American culture, there's a lot of people that have this negativity. Like, they always have something to gripe about and complain. And I have a friend who's been working with a small nonprofit that funds an orphanage in Honduras.
Okay.
And he was talking to me, Brandon from Pharaoh Designs. He was talking to me about how he went down there and there were these kids that literally, they watched, like one kid watched his dad like kill his mom with a machete in front of him.
Okay.
Like all these kids that come from these horrible, horrible upbringings, and now they're in this orphanage and they're like happy as can be, like they had these horrible things happen in their lives.
Okay, and they bury that
and
to move forward.
And they're able to like look at the brighter side of life
Right.
and not let those dark things pull them down. And it kind of saddens me because you have people like kids in America where like your parents getting divorced is horrible, but they like let that hate and like just kind of sink in their lives.
Right.
And
hold them back.
So the song's kind of about how there's hope buried in your veins.
Okay. All right, very cool. Guys, it was great hanging out with you. The album sounds great. You guys did a great job with that. Good luck with your shows, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Awesome.
All right.
Sweet.
Again, we'll have a new vidcast up next. Well, actually, this one comes up we'll put this on Monday, but we'll have a new one on Monday, as we always do every single week. Don't forget, we're streaming 24/7. You can reach us to get our newsletter at contact@yourlocalnote.com. And don't forget, you can also, nice. You can also download our free apps. Just go to the respective stores and type in YLN, and you can download it for free. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We're hanging with Awaking Mercury. Their album is Dear Benjamin, and this song is called Buried in Your Veins on yourlocalnote.com.
Bye, Sam.
Wow.